Thank you for joining us here on Channels Television. Facts behind the figures and figures behind the facts, as it were, either way. We're here for a fact finding, and thank you for honoring our invitation. First of all, you've been fingered as either you or your entity being responsible for the hazardous petroleum product, this time around diesel, that has flooded the Nigerian market. Are you involved in this kind of business, sir?
Thank you so much. We were in business now for 20 years, and we have never brought in any product that is either hazardous or off-spec. And we will never do that because we love this country. And everything is not about money. Matrix Energy stands for quality. We are professional people, and we are people that we have in-depth knowledge of the market, and we've always make use of our expertise in doing whatever we do. We stand in for quality, we leverage on our asset, and we also leverage on our relationship with most especially our customers, who are the one that patronizes us and uses our product.
I'm aware that diesel has been deregulated since 2009. What that means is that long before the PIA that we have today as a working document that came in effect a few years down the line, it meant that if diesel has been deregulated, anybody who has the financial muscle or who has the technical knowledge can actually go in that business line of either supplying or distributing diesel, as it were. Can you help us make a sense of where the problem is and why we have this kind of conversation going on right now as regards, first of all, diesel supply, diesel distribution, diesel availability, and pricing?
I came into this industry by end of 2004. I was a banker, and the then administration, which is former President Olusegun Obasanjo, made efforts to deregulate the market. And what does deregulation mean and stand for? It gives opportunity, it moves the market from the public sector to the hand of the private sector. And we see a big opportunity there where we feel we can play. When the market is deregulated, it means it's a factor of demand and supply, willing buyer, willing seller. And since the market of diesel, which is called AGO, jet kerosene, has been LPG fully deregulated, that is why you have seen so much progress in that market, because you've seen a lot of depots that came in across the country. You've seen a lot of investment in people buying vessels, people investing in storage facilities and all the rest, which is the best thing that has happened to the country, that today you can trade your diesel, you can trade your other deregulated product. It's a factor of your capacity, it's a factor of your ability to convince the buyers. It's a buyer's market, not actually seller's market. So you see, anybody can bring in diesel, but government then will have DPR. DPR responsibility was to ensure that the quality of the product that comes in meets the country requirement. And now that we have NMDPRA, who are the regulators in the downstream, and we have NUPRC, who is the regulator for upstream, their primary responsibility is to license us to bring in product anywhere. As at now, in terms of the economic term, we are all feeling from M, which is import into the country. So it is the sole responsibility of NMDPRA to ensure that the standard, the specification given to all the importers, will comply with it. And in a situation whereby you bring in product that is not that, you can't even discharge that product. You talk about why the noise now. You know that OPEC has been cutting productions, they reduce production, at times they say they are maintaining the production. What it means is that the balance of trade, the volume of product that are being produced, maybe probably is in excess of what the global world requires. And you
And
can
that
see
affects pricing.
it affects pricing, it affects a lot of things. And you also notice that the world is moving away from fossil fuel to non-fossil fuel. So what you see invariably is that the demand for diesel, demand for all those things is expected to come down. And another thing I can tell you as well is that by this particular time in the country, you know, the demand and supply play a significant role in determining what the price is and what the reaction of the end users. And anytime you see the price is so high, people are very cognizant of what they do. A lot of people now don't even use diesels in their houses or even in the factory. They check it. Everybody sees when you don't need it, you don't make it into use. So I don't see reason why there should be noise. The market is free, is fully deregulated. There's nobody is taking any hit. Most times you may not even make profit because the market is efficient. You have to sell what you buy, and at times you sell at a loss.
Why are you still in that business if it's not a high sounding, mega money making business? I mean, what's the business model that is guiding your business and involvement in in diesel sales?
This is our career. This is what we do. We love doing it. We have good customers. We sell to the blue chip companies. We sell to the big construction companies in the country. There's no single construction company today that doesn't buy from us. Our stations across the federation, we sell a lot. I know what my stations sell. I know what I sell daily. I've seen some towns that people go as far as going 1 kilometer to go and buy from us. Because why? We don't compromise on quality and we don't cheat people. Our 1 liter is 1 liter. And we love doing it. We've invested heavily. Today, Matrix has 4 vessels. We bought our first vessel in 2009. And the last 2 vessels we bought was 2017. So we have invested heavily. Our 4 vessels can carry 166,000 metric tons of product at any particular point in time. And we are one of the largest charterer of vessels in the Gulf of Guinea. So it's something we love doing. It's something that brings happiness, and I'm proud that I have a very good team. My teams, they are hardworking, they are young. Probably I'm the oldest in the industry, in the company, and it's a legacy I want to leave. Matrix is not all about selling diesel. We do other products. We are one of the few depots or few companies today that we can store all products, from LPG to PMS to AGO to Jet A1 to DPK to aviation fuel, which is the same thing as ATK. Bitumen, we store bitumen as well, and then we trade these products. So it's not all about diesel. We do other products. And diesel is one of our products that we do. And because we sell virtually everything that some companies like, we are one-stop shop for a construction company.
The country is awash with what appears like an interruption of that system, of an alternative that is in country. Do you have a problem with that?
We have no problem with that. It's our pride as a nation to be not only exporting crude, but able to export petroleum products. And it's something that we will support at any point in time. We have supported 1 or 2 refineries, and we don't talk, because some of the things we do, there are confidentiality around it. But I can tell you, we are one of the people that are working to make sure that this country is able to refine and supply what is required locally. And we will do that, and we will continue to work until this is achieved.
I'm going to do something a bit strange. I'm going to ask you to speak directly to this camera and tell Nigerians that you don't have a problem with any business disruption that gives Nigerians better value.
We are 100% in support of whatever is required for us as a nation to be self-sufficient in whatever we do. It's not only on petroleum products. There are other things that we do to make sure that the country is a better country. So we would never work with whoever that want to sabotage or create an environment for the country that is unconducive for investors and new investment to come into the country.
So this is you, the henchman at Matrix Energy, Matrix Oil and Gas, saying that you don't have any hand in the importation of adulterated, as it was recorded. They said substandard, but we know in the oil and gas parlance that there's nothing like substandard. You see that spec or off spec, and these specs actually happen within ranges that are specified for a period of time. So you're saying to us today here on Channels Television exclusively that you don't have a hand in the off-spec diesel that you have been accused of bringing in, and perhaps you and some of the marketers, and that all of the cases of crude and refined petroleum products leaving some parts of the Eastern Europe, coming through tiny Mediterranean area into Nigeria, you are absorbing yourself right now of any wrongdoing.
We don't do business only here. Today we are registered and we do business with the international oil companies. We do business with the big trading company and even with the national oil companies, not only here. We know what it takes. Compliance is key to us. We have no reason or justification for us to engage in those kind of practices. And as I mentioned to you earlier, our customer base are mostly multinationals. Any construction company in Nigeria that you want to work with, they are our customers. Nobody ever rejected any product from us. You can't take product to some of these big companies. We don't want to start naming them. They test the product. We have a strong quality assurance department. As I've mentioned to you, I have talented young guys, young people working with us. We have a robust lab. We are very hard when it comes to quality assurance. We stand for integrity and we are very professional in what we do. It's not only oil we sell. For people that in agriculture, they know our fertilizer is well sought out for. We cannot even meet demand. People look for our fertilizer. If you take our fertilizer to anywhere in the world to test, you know what if you say it's 20-10-10 is 20-10-10. Our 50 kg is 50 kg. Matrix is a strong brand today. We sell at premium because we don't disappoint and we don't have any history. It's something you can confirm. None of our stations, even when with all this blackmail, cheap blackmail, our sales has even gone up. That is the honest truth. It's a blessing for us because people that don't buy from us before, they buy from us. I have received several emails from people and we even get more inquiry from people now on how we can supply them. We don't get involved. You can go to any of our stations or go to our depot. Is free. NMDPRA, they are doing a good job and we should not allow people to interfere and to scare the regulators in doing what they're supposed to do. This was done a few years back to another sector and we saw what came out of it. NMDPRA is doing a good job. We should encourage them and there's no need for us to strangulate them in taking wrong decisions. We will never do what is not moral. We are not looking for money. We are not hungry people. We are all doing well. I told you earlier on, I was a banker and we have conscience and we don't see reason why we are not under pressure for profit and we are not under pressure for these worldly things because we don't need them.
Would you be free to speak to Nigerians and at a public hearing, for instance, whenever that time comes when the National Assembly decides to hold that public investigation and hold you account to what it is that you may have done or didn't do, will Matrix Energy, under your leadership, submit yourself to that kind of public scrutiny?
I was there the last time and I will always go anytime they invite us. You know, the people need to know. I noticed something that a lot of people comment on what they don't know. I've had several words that I can't even understand what it means. When people say under or whatever on the quality, they use one word, I don't even know, substandard. I don't know what is called substandard because it's not, it's strange. I think the people need to be lectured. You know, this sector, there's so many assumptions. You see people that don't even know the difference between diesel and gas oil. They are commenting. We will go to National Assembly or whoever that is inviting us. It's our primary responsibility to allow Nigerians to know what is going on. It's our primary responsibility to guide Nigerians and to guide the country on what best needs to do. Everybody, every government wants a better life for the citizen, and we are part of the citizens. We should do our best to make sure that life is improved when we are alive. We will do whatever it takes to unravel whatever that it is and whatever that the country needs to do to make Nigeria a better country.
Your profile has been all over the place when I first stumbled on that news item over the weekend, the investigation supposedly that accused you very, very previously of having a hand in all of this misadventure. And clearly, so some of the people, you've just told us that you're a quiet businessman doing your business in your corner. But unfortunately, you are now going to be a public man because your profile is everywhere. It says your name, it says you are from Kwara State, so everybody knows where you are from now. So technically, that means no hiding place for you.
First of all, as I've mentioned, I'm not from Kwara State.
Really?
And for somebody to say I'm from Kwara State, I finished from University of Ilorin, I read mechanical engineering, it shows the writer or the originator of that document does not even do his or her homework properly. And where I am from is not hidden. I'm well known in my place. I'm being loved by my people.
So you're not from Kwara State?
I'm not from Kwara State.
Is there a mix-up here? Are we talking to the wrong person?
Maybe, but they mention my company, and I assume that, they just want to...
It's your matrix?
Yes, it's Matrix. We have only one Matrix Energy in Nigeria, and it's a strong brand.
But the man who runs Matrix is not from Kwara State?
I'm not from Kwara State. I'm from Southwest. I'm not from North Central.
You're on Channels Television. You're not from Kwara
I'm from
State.
Southwest. I'm not from North Central.
Okay, this is interesting.
And I think the writer of that document should go back and do his or her homework. It's a simple thing. If you put my name, it should tell you which state I am from.
Finally, when all of this is said and done, what kind of downstream industry do you envisage for Nigeria? And this is speaking very seriously because there has been a lot of accusation dropped at the doorstep of the international oil companies, the local companies, marketers, as not wanting this country to lift from the pecuniary way of doing things, having abundance, and yet groping in the dark in terms of derivative. What is your biggest desire as far as this is concerned? Who doesn't want the refineries to work? Are you one of those people?
Just as I've mentioned to you, it's unfortunate that somebody will go to the media and tarnish or try to tarnish my image, which has come out to be a blessing for us. I don't want to really talk about, because it's a junk they have said about me, that we took 200,000 metric tons of PMS to Matrix Depot, PMS for that matter, to Matrix Depot in Warri. We have the infrastructure to support even more than that. I mentioned to you, we have 4 vessels. 3 are operational here now. The 3 of them can go to Warri at any point in time with 45,000 metric tons. We have the customer base, and we have over 700 trucks. You see our stations everywhere. Many locations we cannot even meet up with what the customer wants from us. But as I've said, we didn't take 200,000 metric ton, and I think
so you're debunking that too.
We didn't take 200,000 metric ton. If the person has done a good job, he should have gone to NMDPRA, ask them what is the volume of PMS matrix took to their depot. You can even go to MPA or NIMASA to check to see the schedule of vessels that have gone to our facilities. So this shows the kind of shoddy work the person have done, and I think people need to be held responsible for their decisions. If you want me to comment on what kind of downstream sector do I want, I mentioned to you I was a banker, and I'm happy today some of my colleagues or people that work under me, they are minimum DGM or GM in the banking industry. It shows that even if I'm in the banking today, I should be more than that. We want a sector that is a matured market. Downstream globally, if you go to some countries, you don't even know who is the producers of the diesel. Go to a matured market. You know, we have what is called we have competition that are friendly competitions, not harsh competitions. People don't go all the way to tarnish another person's image because they want to sell their product. But I think we want an industry that, you know, there is adequate supply, industry that the we have national energy security. We want an industry that will create jobs for people, even though downstream sector has created a lot of employment. It's one of the largest employers of labor. And we also want a downstream industry that the people that are investing in that sector or the players in that industry, they are ready to invest in other sectors and make the industry to be very viable. And most importantly, we want an industry that the products that we are trading, we are selling, is made available to people at a competitive price, that people have choice, that you can decide to go to Matrix to buy, you can decide not to buy from Matrix. I should be able to convince my customer to buy on the basis of price, on the basis of availability, on the basis of reliability, and on the basis of quality. So this is what I think the industry that I want.
I've not heard you talk about the interest for public. That's my interest. That's our interest in
Yes,
channel television. How the public is the biggest beneficiary from this supposed market that you describe and this dashboard you're trying to paint, this picture of the dashboard. Where does the consuming public come into it to the point where they're getting the best on time, real time, best price, availability,
competitive price? You know, this current administration is putting so much effort on CNG. In few years to come, just like nobody buys kerosene from any filling stations. If you have kerosene in your filling stations now, nobody buys because people use mostly LPG. A time will come, nobody will buy. So when people are fighting over product that is
extinctive,
going to extinction, it doesn't make sense. We should support the world, we should support the country, and we should also support our customers by lecturing them, by encouraging them to transit from diesel, from PMS to CNG. CNG is cheaper, it's cleaner, and you can't cheat, you can't steal. If I keep CNG for my trucks, you can't do anything with it. I think this is where we are going, and this is why we need to support the government. And this is what I talk about, that instead for people to put so much effort in what is going to extinction, we should encourage, we should enlighten the public on what will bring value to them and what will bring value to the public. We invested heavily in LPG. Today we have a lot of LPG trucks. We have LPG in virtually all our filling stations. We have LPG depot. And we're happy that what we work for has come to reality. Nobody buys kerosene. I'm sure you can't remember the last time you bought kerosene or you see somebody using kerosene. And I think this is what we should do, that will be of value to the public. The price of CNG is like 1/6 of
Compared to
what
PMS.
compared to PMS or compared to LPG. So if I want to help the public, I should concentrate more on what brings value to the public.
Now you're talking about the world is transiting. We see targets, and the Nigeria has set its own targets. We see that UK sets 2030. In a few years from now, that there will be no more fossil fuel driven vehicles. The presidential initiative on CNG, the president just launched some CNG buses the other day. It's still something that is still appearing like in the granular, and not much is being heard or seen to the effect of its value. But it's a transition that has to be done. It's been discussed severally at different fora. So I'm going to ask you finally, what's your outlook for energy transition as a company, the way you have described it and in the capacity that you're trying to describe yourself?
I've mentioned to you CNG is the way to go. We don't like talking about some of the things we do, but I can tell you authoritatively, we have capacity to produce oil today. But why are we not producing? Because we don't want to flare gas. So the country is blessed with gas. We have gas more than oil. The transition should be transition from diesel, from PMS to gas utilization. We will support the government and we will support the country to ensure that that transition takes place within the shortest period of time. We don't need to wait for 2030 or 2040, but I can tell you so much effort has been put into gas utilization, which is part of it is the CNG, part of it is the LPG. We have invested heavily. At the moment, we have 2 gas processing facilities under construction. My team are in one of the locations doing final inspection before it's being shipped to the country. So these are things that we do.
So you're not just looking at the current realities of petrol supply, diesel supply, so as to suggest why you're perhaps deeply holding on to this business. You don't want to do this business, or you're also looking at this transition. Are you in this? Are you in that transitional line?
You know, I will also go back to some of the acquisition that Matrix has 115 stations. Why should Matrix do this? We are not only into filling stations. We do whatever we do it best. And whatever that brings value to my country, to my people, is our primary responsibility. Public interest supersedes our private interest. We will do whatever it takes to ensure that our people get the best value for what they deserve. We have been accused that we supply substandard product. I've seen them publishing documents. If they have any document to show that we have brought in off-spec product, we are challenging them to publish it.
Really?
Yes.
They're throwing that challenge?
We are throwing it. They can publish it. We want to see it. And we stand by our words. And the Nigerians should not be deceived. What they publish is certificate of quantity that shows this is the volume of product brought in. And that is not our document. If anybody says Matrix has brought in bad diesel, I've seen different language, dirty product or different kind of thing. I think the person should come forward and publish. We will pay for it.
So you're not a Malta cabal?
We are not cabal. We are Nigerians and we are investors. And
and you're not an offspring of the Russian dirty oil, as has been said.
We don't, as I've explained to you, we know what we are doing. We are doing the right thing, and we've received a lot of calls from people, a lot of encouragement from people. We will continue to do what we think is right. We will continue to do what brings value to our people, and we'll continue to do what our conscience can stand with. Thank you.
Thank you very much for your time, Amos. Thank you for coming to our studio and for speaking to us exclusively.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.